everybody. Welcome back to A History of Murder. This is the audio version where I'm reading chapter by chapter my first novel in the Jericho Falls Cozy Mystery series. I have a couple of important announcements. First of all, signed books are now available on Etsy. I'll leave the link below. And also on Etsy, you're able to get signed bookmarks from me. You'll notice it says you paused right here. So if you want to get a bookmark or a signed copy of the book, they're available on Etsy. I'll link that below. Also, thank you to all of you who are subscribing to the channel, and I hope you'll keep doing that so that you'll never miss an episode of the book. And today we're on Chapter 9, No Tourists, No Town. As soon as I woke, my eyes went to the letters sitting on the antique nightstand. I turned over. The shoebox full of Christie's things sat on the dresser. A cascade of dread filled me. It wasn't a bad dream. No, this was all really happening. What I needed was a long walk. As I dressed, I looked at the scar on my right knee. It's strange how a scar becomes a part of us, how we eventually don't notice them. What once was a painful, bloody, and unavoidable becomes tolerable, healed, and unnoticeable, until we're reminded of what caused them. I zipped up my hoodie, went outside, and started down Gold Hill towards the Greenbelt. Upriver were the falls, where I hadn't been since the day Christy died, but the Jericho River ran through town as well, and Riverside Park with its scenic Greenbelt was my destination. It was beautiful here, with lush trees lining the water. The birds sang. This was precisely what I needed to clear my head and try to come up with a plan. Rounding the bend to enter the park, I saw a flyer posted on the community bulletin board. Founders Day celebration, Saturday, July 4th. Celebrate 150 years. Activities all day, culminating with the Founders Day Ball. This was only 2 days away, but I certainly didn't feel like celebrating. In fact, everything that had happened only made me more sure I needed to get out of Jericho Falls. Once I proved Grandma Lily's innocence, I would go. Just then, a young man carrying a clipboard approached me. He was wearing a t-shirt with the Founders Day celebration logo on it. As he got closer, I realized the image had been adapted to include the words, "The founders wouldn't approve." "Hi, would you like to sign the petition to prohibit corporate giants from moving into Jericho Falls?" "No thanks, I'm only visiting." "Every signature counts," he urged. "We want to show City Hall that people who love Jericho Falls don't want chain restaurants and hotels here." Wait, city officials are considering that? Not only considering it, they're allowing a major development company to make a proposal at the city council meeting on Monday. I thought of how out of place a national hotel brand or fast food restaurant would look in our quaint, turn-of-the-century town. "Where do they want to build?" I asked. "At the top of the hill, behind the mansions." He pointed towards our house, assuming I was a tourist and wouldn't know where he meant. My stomach sank. Asphalt parking lots and chain businesses in our backyard? That was unacceptable. Was this why Grandma wanted me to come back all of a sudden? Was she fighting this? "I'd be happy to sign," I said, snatching the clipboard from his hands and taking up the attached pen. "By the way, who do I talk to at City Hall about these proposals?" "Mayoral candidate Blake White has taken it on as a community service project." Just as I thought. My interactions with Blake weren't finished, and he was going to get an earful from me the next time I saw him. I noticed another man approaching us. He also had a clipboard. "Wait a moment, ma'am. Before you sign that silly petition, I'd like a word." As he approached, I had the feeling that I knew him. There was something familiar in his dimples and dark hair. He recognized me first. "Chloe Martin, is that you?" "Anthony?" It was none other than Blake's younger brother, Anthony White. He smiled broadly and gave me a one-armed hug, still clutching the clipboard with his other arm. "It's been forever," he grinned. I noticed his embroidered polo shirt, which read, Champion Hospitality Corp. You don't want to stop Jericho Falls from thriving, do you, Chloe? Add a few hotels and restaurants and our tourist dollars will explode. We could afford the street repairs we've needed for years and so much more. I want Jericho Falls to thrive, but I don't want it to sell out. And what's this I hear about the property behind Jericho House being targeted? He raised his hands in surrender. No firm plans have been set. But Chloe, as vice president of Champion Hospitality Corp., I can guarantee that the architectural styles, facades, and lighting will complement the aesthetic of our celebrated town. He looked around wistfully, as if he was envisioning it all right now. It won't be selling out. It will be marketing our assets. What a sales pitch, the petitioner rolled his eyes at Anthony. It's not who we are, I said. My voice rose. Anthony's smile was wearing thin. We're going to be dead if we don't do something to revive this place. You think Tombstone, Arizona doesn't have hotels and restaurants available for the millions of travelers that go there every year? Maybe so, but not right on top of their historic district. Gold Mountain is not zoned for that. Now I was yelling. In fact, it is, Anthony said. Your grandma's house is a commercial building. So is Claire Harlan's bed and breakfast next door. His voice remained calm, but his eyes narrowed. The poor petitioner, clearly becoming more and more uncomfortable, watched our verbal exchange as if he were at a tennis match. That last comment got him clued in, though. Wait, your grandmother is Lily Martin? Yes, Anthony and I yelled in unison, still glaring at each other. But I thought you were only visiting, he said to me. I am, I answered. Anthony, I don't agree with this development, and I plan to fight for the history and integrity of Jericho Falls. He grinned. See how quickly we return to our little squabbles? It's like you never left town. And come to think of it, I haven't seen you in, 10 years? What's the occasion? 13, actually, I said without any other explanation. He gave my shoulder a light punch. Here we go, arguing like when we were kids again. And argue we did. Anthony was the cute but meddlesome little brother I never had. This, however, wasn't a fight over a frog he put in my boot or stealing the seat off of my bike. This was a serious issue that impacted my grandmother's future, my whole family's. I didn't want to be on the opposite sides from him, but I didn't see that I had a choice. How about you move along, Anthony said to the young petitioner. I plan on giving Chloe all the details she needs to make an informed decision. He put his free arm around me once again and began guiding me back the way I came. The man shook his head and turned to go, but before he did, he left Anthony with a parting jab. Lucky for you, your brother's running for mayor. That company only hired you because of your connections to him, right? Ouch. Anthony didn't reply to the comment, but I recognized angry embarrassment on his face. Poor Anthony was the stereotypical little brother, always in his big brother's shadow. Blake, the champion swimmer. Blake, the student body president. Blake, the award-winning scholar. I hoped this guy was wrong, and Anthony wasn't still being outdone by his older sibling. That was a low blow, I said. It's okay. These kids think they're saving the world. They don't see the big picture. Which is? That we need to change with the times. If we want to preserve Jericho Falls, we have to compromise on some things. No tourists, no town. I had to admit that he had a point. But speaking of changing, Anthony went on, you haven't changed one bit. I smiled despite myself and shook my head, suddenly self-conscious. I must be a mess. It's been a whirlwind since I got here. Including a run-in with my brother, I hear. Man, I wish I could have been there when he laid eyes on you again. Anthony, I think he was a little more concerned about the dead body in our yard. He squeezed his eyes shut. Sorry, yeah, I heard about that too. I can't believe it. Apparently the rumor mill is still alive and well, though, I said. Oh, it's still going strong, but I got the news before they got their hands on it. From Blake? How politically incorrect would it be for the would-be mayor to spill the beans like that? No, on my police scanner, Anthony said. You have a police scanner? I asked. I thought only conspiracy theorists and world-enders had those. I jabbed him in the ribs. He laughed. I know, it's weird. Nothing exciting usually happens either, but then Art... His voice trailed off. I know, I sighed deeply. Did you know I was the one who found him? I envisioned Grandma Lily's ribbon embedded in Art's neck. A queasy feeling swept through me. Then I had to face seeing your brother. I can't decide which would be worse, Anthony joked. He made me smile. If it's any consolation, he went on, I hear the police officers weren't happy to see Blake there either. There was some chatter on the scanner about it from Ellie Porter. She was the first one there, I explained. No big surprise. She's trying to make it big and get out of town. We shared a knowing look. Who could blame Ellie? Anthony, I think Ellie wants to pin Art's murder on Grandma Lily. Maybe because of what happened before. What? He stopped walking and turned to me. Lily's not the violent type, especially against someone she cared for. I smiled again and attempted to look natural, knowing now that Grandma Lily didn't care for Art at all. How well did you know Art? I asked. This is Jericho Falls. We all know each other somehow. He was a nice old guy, I suppose. You suppose? Art was... Anthony seemed to choose his next words carefully. Hard to get to know. I nodded. That didn't surprise me much. But Chloe, he said, don't push Ellie Porter. What do you mean? His dark eyes met mine and revealed worry. She never seemed satisfied with the explanation of Christy's death. She won't let it go. We continued walking in silence for a bit. In the end, it was ruled an accident, I said. He shrugged. Maybe Ellie doesn't buy it. This made me think of the box of stuff sitting in my bedroom at Jericho House. Did Ellie know I had it? What would she do if she found out? Anthony and I had reached the point for me to turn and go up the hill for home. It was great to see you again, Chloe, and I mean it. I want to explain the values of the development plan. Anthony took a business card from his pocket and extended it to me. Call me. I have an office on Main Street. I took the card, but made no promise to meet. The sooner I sorted all of this out, the better. But every time I turned around, there were more and more things to sort out and more people in my way. All right, so that does it for chapter 9. We've met Anthony now and learned that there is trouble brewing in town as far as the hopeful development of a big commercial district. So that just adds another little layer of trouble for Chloe and her family. So I hope that you will check out the links below, and I hope you'll join me again for chapter 10 coming up soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.